And so if you're thinking about how to make your essay unique, you make it unique by being authentically yourself in the essay. So if you want to give yourself, like, not the day of deadline, but the day before that, just to make sure that you get it in, that's definitely worth your time. Hello, this is Cheryl here, and I'm your test prep tutor. Behind me is my dog Lulu, who's staring very intently at me. But we're going to go on with this video, and we're going to talk today about some common application mistakes. These are things that I want all of you, my students, to avoid, just so you can get to where you need to go with as little trouble as possible. So the first mistake that people make on a common application is that they miss a deadline. And I understand that we're all human. I understand that things happen, but at the same time, deadlines are firm. So if you want to give yourself, like, not the day of deadline, but the day before that, just to make sure that you get it in, that's definitely worth your time, because what ends up happening is that the system tends to crash the day that the deadline rolls around, because everyone does it last minute. And I don't want you to do it last minute. I want you to have been working on your application and your personal statement and your essay for an extended period of time and be able to get in your materials a day or two early, just to ensure that there is no computer error the day that you need to submit it. Another thing that students don't do whenever they set up their common application is really research the schools where they're applying. You can find out what your average score for the school is. You can find out a lot of information about the school that you're applying to just by researching outside of the common application. And that's what I think is really helpful for you in the long run. Another thing that students do is they often ignore the word limit to essays. So in thinking about, if you're given a character limit, if you're given an essay limit, don't go over the limit. Show that you can work within the instructions and show that you can work within the rules of the test makers, of the college board, of whoever it is that's setting up your essay section. Another thing that a lot of my students have a tendency not to do is look for feedback. And I really understand that kind of mindset. I understand wanting to believe in yourself. I understand wanting to be confident in yourself. But I also think that you have so much time to write your common application essays that you really should be looking for that additional feedback. And another little mistake that students sometimes make in a common application is being overly general. And when students are overly general, they have a tendency to write something like, I love books or I love to read, but they don't necessarily talk about how this makes them special or makes them unique. Now, if you're having trouble figuring out, well, how does this make me unique? How does this make me seem different from other students? That's definitely when you should go and look into getting a tutor or getting someone to talk to you about all the qualities that make you special, because I think that maintaining an open-minded view, an open-minded approach is definitely the way to go. So I wanted this video to have a frequently asked questions section. So I polled some of my students and I got their most asked questions. So some of my students asked me how missing a deadline impacted students in the past. So it's definitely a bad indicator if you miss a deadline, especially on something as important as your college applications. I think that if there's some circumstance that's really challenging, or if there's some special circumstance, you can definitely get an extension on a deadline. But for the most part, you save yourself a lot of trouble just by showing that you can responsibly submit your application within the deadline. But also that requires, and a tutor can help you with this, working backwards to make sure that you have all of the application requirements set for the day of the deadline. Some students ask me, how do I effectively research schools outside of the common application? And obviously this is something that a tutor can help you with and that a tutor has a lot of experience in. But that being said, a lot of your questions can be answered by Google, right? So if we're thinking about what is the average ACT score, SAT score, if we're thinking about what are the average grades of the students who get accepted, if we're thinking about what sorts of programs exist in the school, all of those questions can be answered just by a quick search, and also attending the colleges in person and getting to meet some of the students who attend the school. One big question that I get from my students is, well, I understand that I'm meeting with you, but who else can I go to for feedback for my essays? And the truth is you can go to anyone, because people are going to be looking at essays from different perspectives. One person might be reading it for the story. One person might take attention to grammar or pay attention to grammar. And so really going to your English teacher, going to your past teachers, even if they're not your English teacher, going to people who really know you would be able to tell you right away if your essay is authentic, if it's fun to read, if it's joyful, or if it expresses what you want it to express for a college application essay. Students have made their essays specific and unique in different ways. Sometimes students really reflect on their childhood and reflect on what specifically contributed to them becoming more imaginative or more creative. Like, was it a TV show? Was it a person? Was it an experience that they've had? Sometimes students write about more recent events, such as how different circumstances in the news might have affected them, or thinking about like how even something as little as like getting a dog, right? When a college looks at the essays, they're not only looking to see, oh, can this person write? They're looking to see, is this person reflective? Is this person mature? How can this person contribute to their specific college campus? And so if you're thinking about how to make your essay unique, you make it unique by being authentically yourself in the essay. If there's anything that I want you to take away from this video, it's to be on time, aka meet the deadline, and to do your research about the schools that you're applying to, because a lot of this information is readily available online. And furthermore, you should definitely go and talk to different people and show them your essay and really get feedback on it to make sure that you are representing your best authentic self. And so you get into the college of your dreams and the college of your choice who appreciates and values you. And so please like this video and subscribe to this channel to get more college admissions content. Thank you so much.